right at 12:30. So we'll go ahead and get started. I want to thank everyone for attending today. Um, I'd like to, of course, introduce myself. My name is Lisa Deputy. I'm the Metro Regional Director for Minnesota Communities Caring for Children. And as most of you guys know, we just simply call it MCCC. The sessions are recorded, so you can find them on our website, www.pcamn.org. However, when we do our breakouts, those are not recorded. I want to say happy Friday to everyone that celebrates it or recognizes it. And so we generally like to, center ourselves and start off with a little breathing exercise, a little mindfulness, if you will. So today, while we're doing our breathing, I generally, when we think, I want us to think about peace. And I want us to think about what brings you peace or brings you that calm. Whether it's a smell, a sound, the water, whatever it is that brings you that peace. I want us to concentrate on that as we're doing our breathing. So let's do that for a minute. Let's go ahead, get comfortable. Let's get planted. Close our eyes. And let's just breathe and think about what brings you that peace. We'll revel in that in just a couple of more seconds. When we're ready, we can all start coming back together. And now I'm going to do the reading for today. And so I am willing to acknowledge I am at the point of no return. When you reach the point of when you reach the point of no return in a particular situation, it means you have given all you can give, taken all you can take, learned all you can learn, taught all you can teach, been all you can be. You realize there is no hope of things getting any better, and you have done all you know how to turn things around. When you finally reach this point, please remember this is not a bad thing. It is simply time to move on. You will know you have come to the point of no return when your joy is gone, your peace is at risk. You are groping for some meaning, you are looking for a reason. You are no longer mad. You can't even get angry. When you come to face with the point of no return, remember the good times. Appreciate the joyful times. Be grateful for any support, encouragement, or contentment you experienced. Pack all of those things in the corner of your heart and take them with you as you move forward. Acknowledge and accept that you may not be able to go back to what you had, but that you have something to take with you on your new journey. Until today, you may have resisted the need to move beyond the point of no return. You may have been looking for reasons to stay in an experience that no longer suits your needs. Just for today, acknowledge your needs and prepare yourself to pack and move on. Today, I am devoted to packing up the good things and moving on. Thank you so much. And now we're going to turn um, our session over to Drake Powell.
Yes, hello. Are you picking up my audio okay? All right. So I am just so thrilled to be here with you today. You know, what an amazing time that we're a part of right now. I'm so the plan is we're going to take you for 15 minutes. Is that accurate? Okay. Just want to make sure of that. I can be long-winded. I don't want to be overstaying my welcome. So so the very first thing I'm going to do is ring the bell. So here we go, ringing the bell. Now, I would like to ask you, each of you, even the youngest of us, to take a nice deep breath in and make the sigh, ah. Beautiful, beautiful. So we just starting off, okay, just to give you a little bit of background with me, I'm 56 years old, and I've been doing meditation practice since I was 11 years old. I first got interested in it when I was 8. Now, you don't get into that kind of thing unless something is really going on. You don't go for something like that. And the reason I did was that I was in a very scary position, both in my house and in the community that I lived in. I lived in an Irish American community, and they weren't having it. So that it gave me an early connection to wanting to connect with how to manage stress. It gave me an early connection to the feeling that I felt disempowered, like I had no ability to influence the situation. You know, I was often being accosted by someone who had something negative to say to me to let me know that I shouldn't be where I was. Now, I don't know if you're feeling me at all in this, but it sounds a lot like right now, right? And so what I want to suggest to you is that it's very, very important for us to come to an understanding. You can either have this happening for you, or you can have it happening to you. And it's a very different framing. So my point is not that this horrible situation and all the things that have gone on for those last several years, it's not that I'm saying it's good, just like as if, as an example, Patty Wetterling, when she lost her son and all the major things she's done since then, she's been a champion. No one would ever say it was good, but it doesn't mean that there's not good things that come out of it. And if we're going to have to deal with all this stuff, what I'm saying is, if you have your mind and heart open for the good, it's going to make it a lot different rather than just feeling like we're going to hell in a handbasket, right? Does that make sense? So we're going to talk a little bit about stress reduction practice. I want to encourage you to make it a conversation. If any of you have questions, I'm so glad to connect with that. You know, and I really want to connect with the fact that this is our opportunity to become our best selves. That's what this is doing for us. It's giving an opportunity to have something positive that's drawn out. And so my suggestion is to understand the urgency. There's a real urgency to cut the cord between the behaviors of others and ourselves. We don't want to be on a train to that. It's important that we realize that we have to start feeling good today. We have to start feeling better. You know, we are not going to feel better by feeling even worse. All right? And so even in this situation, there's an opportunity. When I was a small child, I fell into a swimming pool, and there was no one around. And I sank like a rock to the bottom of the pool. I was on the deep end. I had all my clothes on, you know, and I was not going to get out of the pool. But I was fortunate enough to go all the way to the bottom of the pool. And once I hit the bottom, I pushed off as hard as I could, and I went, and it was almost like magic. I just yanked out. And I was laying there, fully drenched with all my clothes on, my tennis shoes on. And even then I realized, had I not got to the bottom of that, I was not going to get out. So that's the opportunity of this time. So we're going to go over some basic elements. We need 3 elements to have stress reduction. We need to do practice. You need to do stuff, okay? And I would suggest that one of the reasons that we feel as bad as we do generally is that we are doing stuff. We're just not doing the right stuff, right? How many of us first thing in the morning get up and hop on the internet to see what's going on? Do you really think something happened overnight that's so much different for the good that it's going to make a big difference if you hop on there? I'm not talking about not being informed. I am talking about recognizing that we need to create a firewall for our consciousness. We need to create a firewall for our consciousness. And part of that happens by balancing the inner and the outer world. If you get totally absorbed in what's happening out there, you lose connection to your inner world, and that's where your roots are. I saw a tree growing out of a gutter on top of a house. I mean, this tree was big. It was like this big, growing out of this gutter. But you knew it wasn't going to make it much longer because it couldn't dig its roots into it. You cannot let other people set the ground where you're going to make your stand. Now we're going to do some meditation practices. So practice, study. It's important to study. You know, you have to stimulate that direction. It's important to study. And I don't necessarily mean books, although I do read a lot. I don't know if you maybe picked that up, but I do read a lot, you know, but I'm talking about utilizing YouTube. So one of the things I'm doing right now is I'm putting out a 40-day program on YouTube. It's a 40-day program. Every morning I put up a video, and every evening I put up a blog post. The video is on the channel called Touching the Edge. Every morning at 9 a.m. The blog post is on my website, drakepowe.com, drakepowe.com. So in the evening at 6 p.m., I put up a blog post. It's all around stress reduction practice. So one of the videos is a little bit long, but I will shorten them. It's not a medium I'm used to, but it's still good material. So please check it out. And if you know of anyone who's really, really having a hard time, and who doesn't, if you know anyone who's having a really hard time, connect them with it, because it's important that we begin to shift this perspective and put it in a framing where we feel our power. So, do you guys have any questions or statements? Please feel free to ask. No? No? Okay. All right. So, you know, what I want to suggest is that if you are sitting, you know, in your house and you're having a really intense argument with your narrow-minded uncle, and he's really upsetting you, but suddenly the couch you're sitting on bursts into fire, I would suggest that the argument is no longer the major priority. We can put this on the side for a moment, right? So what we have to understand is we cannot let the world get in our head and make us step out of our power. Before anything happens, we have to develop a healthy relationship between ourselves and our emotions. If we don't do that, and I can tell you a good example, if you're not doing that, if you're up at night with your mind racing and you can't stop thinking, that means that your emotions are in control of you. That's the tail wagging the dog. So this is about taking charge and stepping up and recognizing how lucky we are, how lucky we are. So I'm going to start off with a very easy practice, and then we're going to go into another practice. And the first practice is I'm going to tell you what I'm grateful for. I'm going to tell you what I'm grateful for. I'm so grateful to be able to be here with you people right now. You know, one of the elements that we want to understand from practice is we want to step into rejoicing. And rejoicing is not about what's happening out there. Rejoicing is about realizing how fortunate we are. You know, to have this medium in this kind of situation. Hey, if this had happened in 1979, we wouldn't have been able to do this, right? At least now we're able to connect, okay? I'm grateful for my daughter. Again, I'm 56. And I'm asking 4 things we're grateful for. And remember, little things are just as important as big things. So I'm grateful for my daughter and how much that challenge makes me a better person. Although I have to say, I think a lot of this gray hair has come from her, but I'm really grateful for that. And I'm grateful that I have so much faith. I have so much faith in us. You know, I do public presentations, and when I talk about my faith in humanity, they're just like, oh, like people are shocked by it. But I have faith. And finally, I am grateful that I am focused on where I need to go and not the impediments that are blocking my way. So I want to ask any one of you if I can get a volunteer to tell us 4 things you're grateful for, either large or small. Is there anyone who would like to step up and answer that for me? Yeah. Emily? Yeah.
Hi, my name's Emily. I guess, did you say 1 or 4 things?
4 things, and remember, small things are just as important as big things.
Yeah. So I guess one thing I'm grateful for, it's I have a almost 5-month-old with me as I'm working full time right now, and I'm so grateful I get to see so many more smiles than I would normally so I get to like be home and see so much more of her than I could ever see if I was going to work every day. So that's a big one. It's just like getting more quality time with her.
Beautiful.
And being on my team that I work with, and just really grateful for my colleagues and support.
Okay.
And the weather has been wonderful. So being able to walk outside I'm grateful for that. And one other thing is just having so much privilege to have a home and food that I can rely on. And I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, yeah. As bad as it is, this beats picking cotton. Not that I ever picked cotton, but my people did. And I'm telling you that this is not as hard as picking cotton, okay, from what I have been very much told growing up, okay? Thank you so much.
I just wanted to acknowledge our chat. Linda Brent said she's grateful for good health, the treadmill desk, this group, and Costco spinach.
Oh, beautiful. I love it. I love it. Can we get a couple more people who might want to say it? We can all say it if we like, but at least a few. Yes, Sarah?
Okay, great. I'm unmuted. Okay. I created a little gratitude tree based on one of the sessions we had here. Mm-hmm. So I made little leaves with what I was to try to stay positive of gratitude. So one would be my husband. I'm grateful for the ability, the fact that I have a job and can get paid during this time. Mm-hmm. Also, I'd say, I know this is a little silly to say, but it isn't really for me, but my dog, he gives me comfort.
Mm-hmm. That's not silly at all. That is a major stress reducer.
Oh, okay. And then just, the safety that I have in my home.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. So I grew up in a situation where I never knew when an extremely violent situation might pop out of nowhere. I would have people surround me with baseball bats, bricks through the windows, explosives thrown at me, a lot of different things. And, the idea of safety. So again, many times what happens is people don't realize how good they have it. You know that kind of situation that occurs where someone's pulling up to their garage and they mean to hit the brake, but they accidentally hit the gas. And then when they do that, they panic and they hit it harder, because they're trying to hit the brake. And what happens is you driving through the door, maybe out the back. When I was a kid, I was riding a bicycle and there was a mailbox. And so this mailbox was a very, very intimidating and fearsome mailbox. And so I'm riding the bike, and this is like my first time up. And I'm like, and all of a sudden, the mailbox started coming to me. Well, I was going to it. But what you focus on, you're drawn to. And that's part of what's happened. Thank you so much. Does anyone else want to offer anything that they're grateful for before we go on? Okay, so I would like to suggest to you that little practice is a powerful one. It's also a team building practice. When you hear what other people are grateful for, you have to understand your brain is not your friend, and neither are your emotions. Your brain and emotions exist for their own sake. So if you develop fearfulness, a part of you will be invested in being afraid, and actually that part of you will be invested in making you more afraid. So we have to understand that we have to not be on the string to those things. And we do it by balancing the inner and the outer world. And that happens by practicing on a daily basis. Number one, being aware of subtlety. It's incredibly important that you are noticing small details. The word resilience, it means to do again, zilliance, which means to notice excellence that other people miss. You only do that if you're present. So we are solar creatures, and we absorb energy by being fully invested in the moment, And if you are constantly in your mind in conceptual stuff, The word samsara, which comes from Buddhism and Hinduism, means movement that catches your eye. It's considered to be a hell state. So if you think this is hell, or if you think this is heaven, you're right. But it depends a lot on your approach. And so what I'm suggesting is that we got to step up and start changing in the world, but we got to start here. If you have a mathematical equation, you have to go all the way back to the beginning to solve it. And the beginning is ourselves. And so it's important to begin to understand what is soothing to you. It's important to go to that place every single day. It's called the Magic City. There was a guide who was taking his people through a tough, arduous journey, and there was a certain point that they had reached existential fatigue. Existential fatigue was when you have gone through too much, too many disappointments. And it's not just this last year, but it sure got to a peak this last year. But every one of us comes from a trauma background. That's just the way it is. If you have unhealthy parents, you're going to get spilled on. Okay? So what I'm suggesting is that we come and start developing the practice of being able to take the reins of our attention and notice subtlety. It's important to also begin to do visceral practices. So this guide was taking his people through this region, and when they were about to give out, he created the Magic City. And in this Magic City, they were able to go in and recreate and recharge. And then he said, okay, this is not the real destination. Now it's time for us to go on. The Magic City is visceral practice that is so overwhelming to you that you cannot hold on to what you're worried about. And you can't hold on to what you're mad about. It's about letting go. Letting go, which is called release, means to release. Lease is like when you lease your apartment. When you release, that means you are owning your own life. So I'm going to take you through just some really easy practices right now. So we have practice, study, and we have community. We need all three of those things. 1 second, please. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to take us through some easy practice. Now, this stuff is so easy. It is unbelievably easy. It is unbelievably easy to shift your emotional equilibrium. Now, I grew up terrified, and that's what got me into practice. I was so afraid, and I had no one and no mentorship or anything of that level. And so what I'm suggesting is that we develop this ability to do that for ourselves. And so one of the great practices is breathing. And so I'm going to show you a simple breathing technique. Now, these are techniques that you can put into practice right away. Don't wait, right? If there's a fire in the house, do you say, well, we'll get to it tomorrow? There's a fire in the house, okay? So sitting now, just be aware of your chest and bring your chest up slightly. Just breathing nice and easily, and tap into the intention. Allow yourself to relax. You have to learn to relax. Feel it in your hands. Relax in your hands. And be aware of the relationship between the hands and the jaws. Begin to relax the jaws. Let the lips be soft. And now let's begin this breathing technique. We're going to do the calming breath. So I'm going to take a nice, and I'd ask you to breathe with me. I'm going to ask you to take a nice deep breath in. Pause, hold the breath. Exhale it out. Squeeze the stomach. Inhale. Pause, hold the breath. Exhaling it out. Squeeze the stomach. We're going to do 3 more breaths. Inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale it out. Squeeze the stomach. 2 more breaths. Inhaling. Pause. Exhaling it out. Last breath. Hold it. Exhale it out. Let's take a deep breath in. Big sigh. Let the breathing come back to normal. Just notice. Notice how you're different. Eyes opening. Now, this is called the calming breath. You take a deep breath in, and you hold for a count of 7. And as you get better at it, you might, make the count a little bit less compressed, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, You can slow down the counting, but you breathe in and hold the breath, and you, at the end, you exhale, squeeze stomach, squeeze the air out. And so what this does is it calms your nervous system. You know, when your nervous system calms down, it helps your emotions to calm down, which helps you to have less negative thoughts. Okay, and it works the other way as well. And so what I'm suggesting is doing this on a regular basis, doing it before you have a tough meeting, doing it at night when you can't sleep. These are powerful modalities. Does anyone have any questions about that breath? Okay, it's a very simple breath. Now, so I'm going to take you through a guided meditation, and I was going to take you one that's just designed to just relax. But at this point, I think I'm going to do something else. So if you're interested, this will be very short. I'm going to take us all through a guided meditation. Okay? Now again, sitting up tall, chest is up. If it works for you, closing your eyes. And if it doesn't, pick a spot and just drop your eyes and have a soft gaze. Breathing nice and easily. Remember the intention. Intention is not a hope. It's a command. As you exhale, your intention is to calm. Feel yourself calming down. Breathing nice and easily. Just feel it. Breathing slowly and easily. And now I'm going to ask you to do a visualization, relaxing the very center of your forehead. And be aware that we are solar creatures. Everything on this planet comes from solar energy. So as you're breathing nice and easily, breathe in light. So I'm asking you to imagine breathing in white light through your forehead. Through your forehead and into your crown, and through your crown. White light coming in through the forehead and down through the crown. And let it just radiate and illuminate your entire energetic system. Okay? This is yellow light coming in. Just feel that light activating your system. It's healing. Now, as you are breathing, I'm asking you to imagine someone who is in this circle with us, someone who's in this community, anyone at all. Breathing nice and easily, breathing out. Just be aware. Imagine you have a white star shining right out of your chest, illuminating the universe. Shining white light out of your chest and surround that person with white light. Imagine them being surrounded by light. See their face brightening, joy coming into their eyes, you know, a real sincere look of joy and contentment. Breathing nice and easily. Feel that white light shimmering. Continuing to breathe now. Be aware of someone you know who's having a really, really, really hard time. Find the breath coming in and out. The breath is actually cosmic energy. Breathing nice and easily, and combine that with light. Breathing in the yellow light through the forehead and through the crown, and shining out white light out of the heart. Continue to breathe. Surround that person. Perhaps they are dealing with illness, or maybe they're dealing with life being really, really hard. Surround them with that white light. See it shimmering. And as you do, notice their face shifting, brightening, breathing. Last one last individual I would like to ask you to send light to. Breathing in the yellow light through the forehead and the crown, sending out white light. And the individual I am asking you to send light to is the planet Earth and everyone who lives on it. See the Earth surrounded by white light. Breathing nice and easily. Breathing nice and easily. Take a deep breath in. Big sigh. Let the breathing come back to normal. Eyes opening. Now, right after the practice, it's an important time to take a moment to check in how it went. And understand that people who need practice the most are the least likely to be willing to do it. Understand that. The people who need practice the most are the most reticent to actually doing it. So I want to check in with you. How did that go? Did anyone have a good experience doing that? Anyone at all? Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
It definitely felt good.
Beautiful. And so what I would suggest to you is it helps to make you feel better. Your blood pressure gets better. These things are palpable. They're not like airy-fairy things. If you're connected and are getting tested during this kind of practice, your readings become better. But they only go to the level that you're willing to surrender your resistance. Thank you very much. Anyone else want to tell us how it went for them? Yes.
This is
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
This reminds me of personal power.
Mm-hmm.
I felt a resistance, like when you did the world thing. I was like, I'm not going to be able to give a contribution to the world with my light. I mean, I felt that sensation of kind of this personal power, this diminishing of personal power.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and that's why it's so important for us to realize it. Now, the inner world is calm. You know, you have two people. Say you got two people. One of them is really calm, and the other one is freaking out. Who do you think is going to be the one getting in your face? The one who's freaking out. The calm one doesn't need to get in your face. The calm one knows, hey, we got this. So that's who you are. But we have to connect with it. So again, I probably have gone over for you guys. And does anyone else want to say anything? If you had a bad experience, express that as well. Okay, now remember, stress reduction is a lot like knowing how you learn. If you don't know how to best learn, then you're not going to put yourself in a position to succeed. You have to learn how you soothe. And by the way, calming is number one, but you know what else is number two? Positive manifestation. It's hard to be calm when you think the world's going to blow up, right? Okay, thank you so much. Please check out my YouTube channel. Check out my website. You can, I'll also be doing group classes if anyone's ever interested in a group class. I'm going to put this out. If you follow this YouTube practice, 40-day practice, I am going to support people in developing a stress reduction practice at distance, no charge. Now, if you want to come to the group or come to a yoga group, and when I'm saying come to it, well, this is what I mean. We're coming to it like this. If you want to take part in a group, then I will have to have a charge for that. If you want private coaching for me to support you in creating a customized stress reduction practice, let me know. I'm so grateful for your time. Now, this is the last thing. I'm going to ring the bell. Now, bells are about waking up, and this is a time to wake up, not to go to sleep. Here we go. And the very last thing I'm going to say to you is the essence of stress is not having enough space. Miles Davis said that the key to music is the space in between the notes. And so even during tough times, you can take a lot of pressure off by learning how to not be on thinking about it every moment of the day. For me, in my background, I'm going to bring my hands into prayer position, and I want to say to you, kindness is all important.
Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you.
And please feel free to contact me if you have questions. Yes?
I have a quick question. I put in the chat box for everybody. I just wanted to make sure I got it right. The Touching the Edge channel, is that the right name of your YouTube channel?
Yes, Touching the Edge. And when you pull up, there'll be just like this really handsome man. I'm sorry, no. Oh, it'll be me. I'll pop up. So I mean, there'll be a face of my face there. So yeah, Touching the Edge is my YouTube channel.
And then your website is drakepowe.com, yes?
Yeah,
it's you said for your evening blog post is at drakepowe.
And the blog.
Make sure I got that right and let everybody know it's in the chat box if you're looking.
Yeah, and the blog is embedded, so you got to go to the blog page, and please do it. Check it out in the morning, check it out at night. And this will be the fourth day. This is the fourth day I'm doing it up, and I'm new with it, and so some of them are a little too long, or it is too long, but it's really good material, and I'm going to really shorten them up so it can just be really like that for people, okay? Thank you so much for the honor of being part of your group. I really greatly appreciate it. And Lisa, I also would like to say to you, that was really a great reading at the very beginning. So
thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day, everybody. And don't forget, we've got...
Thank you.
Thank you.